Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we are back with more Radiant Tale, continuing Vilio's route. I swear, when I have a plan to be like, I'm gonna get ahead and record a bunch of stuff, work is like, fuck you, stay working late for bullshit. And I'm so fucking mad, guys. I hate this shit. I'm already behind. Ugh. Fuck. And I'm tired and I'm exhausted, but like, I'm so behind. And like, ugh. Anyway. And then my freaking software didn't want to open, like, right. And I was like, I don't have time for this shit. Like, why is everything like, this was a short week for me and I hate it already. Okay. I've only been working for 2 damn days this week and I'm like, I hate this bullshit. I'm done. Fuck it. Like, I hate it. I hate it. Anyway. We came up with the idea to assemble all the first-generation circus members and put on a reunion show. Some time had passed since then. Clivis, Ginia, long time no see. Hello, and same to you. Glad to see you're doing well. Vilio, Zephora, and I had traveled from Kultura to the castle in Arthir. Wait a minute. Spacey's got quite a pretty bracelet there, doesn't she? Hey, you're right. I don't recall you wearing this the last time you were here, though. Where did you buy it? Thanks for the compliment. The truth is, I didn't buy it. This bracelet is a wonderful gift I got just recently. Oh, I get it now. In that case, you should take good care of it. Calypus had figured it out with a single glance at Vilio. I mean, it's a wonderful gift I got. You assume that your husband gave it to you. Duh. It's like, Calypus figured it out because he's not an idiot. Does he know that Vilio made it? Maybe not, but like, pretty a logical assumption that to make that he gave it to you, so. With a soft chuckle, he faced the three of us. I can't believe it. I mean, our original plan was to get everyone together to create the new core item. I never expected we'd do a show now that we're all here. You say we like you're going to join us, and that's kind of awesome. I knew you'd be surprised. It's been so long since we were all in one place. Might as well do our thing. It's not the worst idea I've ever heard, so I said yes. I doubted my ears when I first heard it. The plan's outrageous enough, but the Zephora agreed to it right away. What a shocker! I wonder who's saying this, because it's a question mark, so I don't know who's popping in now to say. I see it being more Pashalia than Ion, but someone's saying, I know, right? When I read the letter, I figured it was some wise guy's idea. Some wise guy's idea. Wise guy's idea. Wise guys! Such... It's so hard to say. It comes out and you're like, that doesn't sound right. There's too many S's that wise guys. Wise guys is... Wise guy's idea. Like... It feels wrong. It feels like... Say wise guys. And it feels like you're like wise guys' ideas. Like, it just feels like you're adding a random S in there for no reason. You're not, but it just feels wrong. It just feels so wrong. Anyway, the idea of a joke, or worse, a scam. A voice I knew all too well rose up behind us. At the same time, the door swung open to reveal our old friends. Okay, well, it was Pashalia and Ion, but who knows who said it. Apologies for the delay, all. Oh, you know what? Never mind, it was Rady. Me just ignoring Rady standing there because I'm so sorry, sweetie. You know what? That was absolutely a Rady. I don't know why my brain like forgets poor fucking Rady. I don't know why. I love him, but like he's standing right there. You know what it is? Because I saw Pashalia and Ion and I see the red out of the corner of my eye and my brain went, okay, it's Vilio. I don't need to like glance over. Because his hair is not pink, it's fucking red, okay? It's the same damn color. So that's all I saw, even though everything... But like if you're looking at Pashalia, you're like, oh, it's Pashalia and Ion, okay. I can see Ion of the, like, neck, like... But then there's just a blob of red and I just... It was absolutely a Rady thing to have said about Zephora, so that makes way more sense. But I did forget about him when I was trying to think of who could be saying that. Anyway, I thought we'd be the first ones here. It looks like you beat us to it. Oh, hi, Relita. You too, Pashalia and Ion. The gang's all here. Man, seeing everybody together again has me so happy. I was also grinning ear to ear as I looked at all their familiar faces. After we made our initial pitch, Vilio and I spent the next several days at Zephora's mansion. We worked hard to get everything ready for a big reunion show. This marked our first meeting with the others since we got everyone involved. They were so happy to see one another. I never thought I'd see the day when we stood on stage together once more. Do you know how thrilled I am? I genuinely thought we'd never see each other again. First, we gotta get back in the saddle. It's been a while since we did this. By the way, are you sure you'll be okay, Spacey? Me? Why? I mean, with your magic rampage and all. Oh, no need to worry about that. Pashali and Zephora gave me special training so I'd learn how to deal with it. Zephora just beat me and berated me a lot, but I'm into it, so... Pashali aside, Zephora basically forced us to practice mega strict self-discipline disguised as training. There was some pain in Vilio's smile, but I'd actually found Zephora's instruction helpful. He taught me what to do when my magic went out of control and unleashed around me. Thanks to that, I pretty much had the hang of how to deal with the rampages. Obviously, my magic didn't stop rampaging completely, but being able to cope with it made a huge difference, and you'll know how to... It'll calm down once you get used to the idea of, you start accepting and processing that everyone's going to leave you. You know? All your friends are going to die before you. And you're going to be that little dinosaur on the All My Friends Are Dead book. Well, you'll be fine. If anything happens, these guys have your back. Especially with King Calivis, the greatest magician in the country, joining us. Oh, that did come as a surprise. Will you be all right taking the stage, Calivis? You are our king now. It's fine, isn't it? Who would dare to oppose a decision made by the monarch himself? Yep, I'll be fine. I mean, I'd be sad if you left me out. I'm a circus member, too. He sounds too much like Pashalia, and now that they're... I didn't think it was going to matter, but, it does when they're together, but whatever. We'll just have to change his voice to this. We won't. Don't worry. That's right. We wouldn't be circus without every last one of us. Vilio was bursting with enthusiasm, and we all nodded in agreement. Besides, there's no point in holding the show if I'm not included. It's set to be unlike any other performance we've done thus far. He paused, looking at each of us in turn. After all, this is part of the plan to make the new core item. It all started 2 weeks ago. After putting a written proposal together, we asked for Calivis's permission through the chalice. Both Calivis and Ginia were more than happy to say yes. But the king had one more thing to add. I'm planning to make a new core item that collects mana from humans. A circus show will be the perfect catalyst for its creation, given all the positive emotions the audience will feel during it. You really caught me off guard when you first mentioned it. I can't believe you're going to create a new core item during the show. Isn't it just lovely? It'll double as an extravagant unveiling ceremony. And considering the crowd's hype made those flora bloom, I assumed the same thing would apply when we formed the new core item. Wait, is that why you were so on board with this plan? Seriously? It wasn't because you were so excited to see us again? Such a Zephora thing to do is be like, I absolutely want to hang out with all my friends and I miss them, especially Vilio, because he's my bestie, but I don't want him to know that because, fuck that shit. I'm crusty and salty. So, yeah, actually, my whole plan was just about the core item because that's the cover. Underneath, he really just wanted to see everyone again. But he's got to have a cover story. You think I'm that kind of guy? Someone get a magnifying glass and check his pea brain. Your heart's way smaller and narrower than my brain, don't you think? I definitely feel like I'm back now that those two are popping off again. Right you are. They get along so well, no one would believe our last meeting was ages ago. Somebody go stop him. We'll end up in debt if Vilio goes bonkers and burns all the pricey stuff around here to ash. The rest of us laughed, reveling in the nostalgia. boys, calm down a bit, will you? The benevolent Ginia has made you some tea. We sat down and enjoyed some tea with our animated chat. Hey, I've still got some questions about that new core item. It has the ability to collect a little mana from each person, right? Yep, that's correct. That sets it apart from the other core items, doesn't it? Its power won't replenish naturally. We've actually been discussing a lot of stuff with the researchers at the Sage Tower. Essentially, it's a replacement for the Roquette Crown. It has none of the 4 attributes, so it's outside the elements. And does that mean the mana poured into the item will have to be non-elemental? Exactly. Instead of fire, wind, water, or earth, it has to be pure mana with no distinct attribute. In other words, the kind of mana that people believe only royalty can use. According to Calivis, it turns out that all humans have the same mana, albeit in smaller amounts. I still find it hard to believe. Does such power really exist in everyone? It does, Sephora, and kindness and love exist in you. And he would just, pass out and die if you said that to him, but I understand his concern. I blinked a few times, then glanced down at my hands. Ever since becoming the dragon's bride, I'd seen spirits many times over, and yet I never saw one without an attribute. It makes me wonder whether that power really exists, like Sephora said. As though he could read my mind, Calivis nodded. It doesn't feel real, I know, but that's because the amount's very, very small. Everything's still sort of vague since the research hasn't progressed much, and I can't explain it very well. His eyes slid to Ginia as he added, however. Right on cue, Ginia retrieved a mysterious box. We can tell when that mana's gonna unleash. Is that a flora? Inside the box was a familiar flower with colorful petals. These mystic flowers bloomed when nurtured with enough positive emotions. Chloris and Flora are said to blossom in response to people's happiness. In truth, that notion is only half correct. He said he learned about this after inheriting Arthur's power. He gingerly brushed the vibrant flower petals as he continued. There we go! We get a flashback of our sexy king! Arthur. Yeah, right. He's like if Calivis and Vilio had a love child. There's something, it's the hair, I think, he's got Vilio style hair, you know what I mean? But there's a little bit of there's something about him, just some kind of sassy flair. He's got some Ginia flair in him. Are you sure we're not all related to him somehow? Because it happened long, long ago when the 4 great spirits had yet to appear. There were no such thing as attributes, only pure magic. As time passed, the magic linked with nature and was divided into 4 attributes, becoming more distinct. Tracing magic back to its origins, everything stemmed from a single power. The ancient magic was born from the positive emotions of people and other living things. It had no element. Does that mean that Chloris magic is closer to non-elemental? I mean, it blossoms from positive emotions. Exactly, but that's not all. King Arthur made one more discovery. When people experience positive emotions, they naturally discharge non-elemental magic. If you had lots of people involved, the magic would be exponentially stronger due to the synergistic effect. King Arthur was probably the first person to notice that phenomenon. He ran around the scattered villages, united all people, and established a country. Eventually, he managed to work with the 4 great spirits who controlled the attributes, and the strongest Phoebes, the dragon. We never would have known about this power had King Arthur not discovered it early on. Anyway, that explains why he named this pure, non-elemental magic Bond. James Bond. No, I'm just kidding. Bond, a non-elemental magic used by royalty that does not fall into the categories of fire, water, earth, or wind. When people join hands, their bond gives off its own magic. The answer Calivis had been building to came from an unexpected source. The king paused, surprised, As his eyes locked on Vilio, he's like, you knew about this whole time? He's like, yeah, well, dumbass. You knew, Vilio? Yeah, but if I told you earlier, then we wouldn't have had this adventure, and this wouldn't have been like a 4-hour thing, and like, my part would have been cut short, so I had to keep my mouth shut. So we'd have an adventure and something to play, right? Makes sense. Nope, not at all. I couldn't tell you why, but I just feel like that's the answer. That's even weirder than you knowing and just having kept it a secret. I guess it's the little bit of Archdragon Ragules in me that made me say it. Ragules was Arthur's best friend. He might have felt the magic of bonds most when they joined hands. Ah, okay, that makes sense. I forgot about that. He's like the reincarnation, sort of. Vilio placed a hand over his chest, and the rest of us nodded. And so a strong power is born when people's feelings are connected. A bond magic, huh? Yeah, somehow it all makes sense. Now that I think about it, the relationship between Chloris and Flora is similar. A Flora that blooms from a lot of people's emotions is stronger than a Chloris that comes from only one person's happiness. Everyone seemed to be convinced, prompting the king to speak again. During this show, I want to create a new core item that can collect that bond magic. In that case, we should produce a performance that makes those bonds resonate with the audience. I was starting to get lost in my thoughts when Vilio nudged me. Where are you going, producer? No need to rack your brain. Agreed. I know we used to base our shows on the problems each city was facing. And this time is different, though, right? The circus may have disbanded to pursue our own goals, but us getting back together to put on a show is possible because of our bonds, don't you think? Oh, yeah, you're right. Then that can only mean one thing. Just do whatever we want to. My goodness, his smile. I love how she's just like, God damn his smile. Like, she just swoons right in the middle of this. That's so cute. My beloved had a smile as bright as the sun. It's like literally, like, I love that because it's exactly, you're like playing a game, you're reading something and you're like, I'm immersed in this intense story. My God, he's hot. Like how distracted you get with how hot or pretty I love it. Literally me when we play these games. I'm sure all of you too, but I mean, like, I am a prime example of this, like, reading an intense story. My God, look at how cute he looks in this! Just totally distracted by the CG or the sprite. And that's exactly what she's like, yeah, that sounds really, my God, look at your smile. You're beaming like the sun. I love you so much. Girl's mind just spun off into another, I'm like, I love it because it's so fucking real. Like, they knew. I smiled back, then turned to look at the rest of the group. Let's make a show that conveys the joy of being together with your friends. We'll all do our own thing, and hopefully the audience will have a blast along with us. You leave your brain in Cultura? What are you being so abstract for? Let her be. And the most important thing here is to give everyone the freedom to do anything they like. And true, all of our different personalities are what make us circus. We can just tell them the road we took to get here, and boom! It'll sure as hell be enough for them to feel our bond. I guess we're all set then, huh? The theme for our show this time will be the story of our bond. And how me and Zephora are best friends forever and ever. That night, we all exchanged opinions and made an outline for the show. Then we had dinner at Lieber. It brought back memories, being the first place we ever met. They made such a commotion in our tavern, even though they barely knew me. Vilio was busy gulping down meat while Zephora berated him the whole time. Then there was Pashalia, who made sure to stay out of it. Verlita was drinking booze behind our backs, only for Ion to scold him in the end. When we first met, I was overwhelmed by their strong personalities. And then my eyes, obviously, technically my eyes bounced to one side to the other, where you're like, look at that sassy, sexy clown, and then you bounce to the other side and you're like, God damn, Ginny is so fucking hot. Before I knew it, I had already found myself adding to the clamor, like it was the most normal thing in the world. Yeah, it's a good man harem. Nothing made me happier than getting to spend quality time with them again. That just sums up this whole entire fan disc. Like, nothing makes me happier than being here again. that night, I was sitting at my usual table, lost in thought in the still dining room. It's so quiet. Feels like all the bickering over our hamburger patties was just a dream. No sooner than I thought that did a vase catch my eye. I extended a finger toward the wilting gerbera daisies in the vase. Be healthy. Contrary to last time, I did it on purpose. I touched the flowers with a clear desire in mind, and they slowly turned upward. Their bright red color was now on full display. Whoa! I did it! I smiled and caught the sound of footsteps coming down the stairs. I knew it. There you are, Spacey. Wait, why did I get deja vu when I said that? You said something just like it before. Are you having trouble sleeping like you did last time? Yeah, it's different now, though. I'm so excited I can't calm down. My heart's pounding so hard you'd think our show was tomorrow. Strange, isn't it? It's still days away, yet I already feel this way. I smiled wryly at him, and he told me he felt the same. Wow. If you can't sleep yet, do you want to go out for a bit? He offered me his hand. I took it and gave it a squeeze. Just like before, the two of us went on a nighttime stroll around the city. We walked slowly as the cool breeze nipped at our skin. Once we went past the gate, there were no more buildings in sight, only plants and trees. There were far fewer fiends now, but if things were as they had been 2 years ago, I could imagine running into one here. I wasn't afraid, though, probably because I had Villia with me. You're not tired, are you? My bad, I ended up making you walk a ways. I'm fine, don't worry. Still, we walked quite far, didn't we? I know we'll get there faster if we just fly, but today, I want to walk with you. Vilio explained that he wanted to walk alongside me as a person, not a dragon. Elated, I held his hand a little tighter. Before I knew it, the city lights were already far away. Both the moonlight and starlight overhead looked brighter than usual. We're here! He pointed to a small hill on one side of the meadow. There was nothing else around, though. I tilted my head in confusion. Is there something here? Nope, nothing. Why does he sound so proud of it? Because it's like, is there anything in your skull? Nope, nothing. No brain cells. I mean, I might have like one every once in a while, but most of the time there's not much going on in there. And he would sound absolutely proud of it. You know it. He mussed up his hair, a half smile on his face, but that's why we love him, because he's adorable and stupid. He's got a good heart. He doesn't need to have a brain, you know? He's got a couple of brain cells bouncing around in there that every once in a while come up with something wise. But it takes a lot of energy. And most of his, but he's just mostly just a big squishy heart. That's all that matters. Well, I guess I shouldn't say there's nothing here at all. This is actually the place I landed when I first came to Arthur. It's also the best spot for stargazing. There's not a lot of brain cells left in my head today. He flopped down onto the grass. Come on, Spacey, join me. There's nobody here, so we have the starry sky all to ourselves. He looked up at me. His wide grin sure made it tempting. I laid down beside him on the grass. Ooh, CG? Are we CG time? CG time? Yeah! Oh, cute. Look at us. That's so sweet. Wow. I was completely in awe. With no trees or buildings around, it was just us and the sky. It was positively breathtaking. So pretty. The weather's great today, so the sky is clearer than usual. I was going to say, he looks pretty in this CG. Like, normally he's, like, really adorable pretty, but, like, he's just kind of, like, just pretty. You know? Interesting. Clearer than usual. Do you stargaze a lot? Yeah, especially when I want to zone out. His lips curved into a soft smile as he reached a hand out toward the sky. You know, I had a duty to protect the world because I'm the Archdragon. I always felt the pressure of carrying the weight of the world on my back. He chuckled, admitting that he sounded a bit too cocky. And that's why I love the night sky so much. I adore the stars, and they're out of my reach. Those stars will keep shining no matter what I do or don't do. It's kind of a relief. Oh, Vilio. The momentary sorrow in his eyes vanished, and he turned his eyes skyward once more. The starry sky is kind of strange, don't you think? It's so far away, yet it feels like you can reach it with your hands. I know, right? We extended our hands, but of course it wasn't enough to reach the stars. So close, yet so far. It brought me back to when I was chasing him. I withdrew my hand, took a deep breath, and ventured a glance at Vilio. So quiet. I must have felt that way because of how rowdy we all were earlier. Isn't it so weird? I got to reunite with everyone, and we've had so much fun together already. I've laughed enough to last my whole life, so I should feel satisfied. And yet, the more fun times we had, the closer we got to the end. Just thinking about it took the wind out of my sails. I've told the audience countless times that our show was about to come to an end. Except this might truly be the last time we come together, rehearse, and perform. It's really like this really is like the climactic kind of end, because it's like just the grand end, and it's like this is the end of the game. This is the last time they perform, because it's not just the game. It's like there's no other fandom. This is it. At least at the end of the game, you were like, maybe there'll be a fandom. This is it. You're done. It's over. It's like, stop rubbing it in my face. That hurts a little. It's a little bittersweet, you know? The idea of announcing the show's end never bothered me before. I always believed we'd get together again if someone wished for it. Who knows about the future, though? Eventually, there'll be a greater reason we can't do a show together. Something beyond scheduling or being busy with work, or the fact that Pashali is dying in every other route, so that's why we can never all get together again. I think that makes this one hurt a little bit more, though. Like, you know what I mean? You're like, aw, it's a little sad. Because, like, oh, we're all going to be together. It's great. But then we're going to not be together. And at least in all the other routes, you've already got that dose of reality where you're like, oh, yeah, we don't always get to see everybody. And in this one, it's like just hammering it into you, you know? You're like, see, everyone's here together, but they're not going to stay that way. So you've got a nice group of friends here. It'd be a shame if something happened to them, like they died. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you're being nice to us, game, but also a little mean. I'm not really sure how to feel here. A day would surely come when we couldn't reunite, no matter how hard we wanted to. It really is like the game, like, really, I'm just going to force into your brain how you feel about when this fan disc ends, because there's nothing else after this. You know what I mean? The chances of another one is probably very slim, you know? It made me feel lonesome. He'd read my mind. So I told him, not like I was before, I feel like. I am, but not like I was before. You know? Oh, no, it's just, yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. I answered without hesitation. I didn't try to hide it, even though it could hurt him. I just voiced my honest feelings as I kept my eyes fixed on the starry sky. Oh. Vilio said only a single word in response. He didn't rush to reassure me or tell me I shouldn't feel that way. Rather, he took it all in stride. Thank you for being honest with me. I should thank you, too, for showing me this beautiful view. Even if you haven't said it out loud, I know what you're trying to tell me. You'll always be with me, doing your best to understand what I'm going through. Really, thank you. Hey, that's my line. He seemed pleased as punch, though his answer was a bit bashful. His smile lifted some unseen weight from my shoulders. I took a deep breath of the cool night air. A bunch of little blossoms popped up all around us. Whoops. I did it again, even after practicing so hard. My control had improved thanks to the guy's training sessions. My magic still overflowed sometimes when I let my guard down, though. Guess I still have a long way to go until I master my magic. I smiled a little, and Vilio chuckled. You're probably going to get confused when I say this, but I actually love your magic, Spacey. How do I say it? Your magic is really similar to you. What does he mean? It was the first time I'd heard anyone say that. He tentatively went on to elaborate. You know, Your rampaging magic never hurts anybody, and even if it does cause a fuss, maybe it's projecting your feelings on your behalf. I feel like it's trying to tell people that you're lonely. I glanced at him and he gestured to something below to prove his point. Small weeds and vines were wrapped around him. Oops, sorry. I've said this before, but I'm actually really happy about it. Yeah, it's frustrating that there's not much I can do to help. But things like this give me the impression you just want me to be with you. I do, yeah. I never expected that to come through in my magic. It's kind of embarrassing. There's nothing embarrassing about it. It's no different than when I want to hug you, am I wrong? If you put it that way, I guess not. I suppose your magic is helping you express the desires you can't put into words. I couldn't say for sure whether that was the whole reason my magic ran wild, but it was true what he said. I absolutely wanted him to be with me always. Therefore... I like the change in the CG. Whoa! When I concentrated, the vines grew larger and completely wrapped around Vilio's body. Girl's getting kinky. He looked down at them, then fixed me with a playful glare. You think I don't know what you're trying to do, Spacey? Oh, am I busted? You didn't even try to hide it. Sorry. He's like, if you want to tie me down, you're gonna have to do something about it. Like, just thought I'd mess with you a little since you got me feeling shy. Shy, sure, that's the word. We smiled at each other, then returned our gazes to the glittering heavens. You know, I've been thinking about this ever since our chat this afternoon. I wonder what the power of bonds really is. I think you found the answer. Oh, think you found the answer, sorry. Nope. Though I do know a few things. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath, drawing on his feelings within. Spacey, you and I are here together as mates, talking side by side. I think that's thanks to the bond we've had since the day we met by chance. Everything I've done, your feelings for me, and the things our friends said, even if one element was missing, we wouldn't be where we are right now. If you think about it, the present came to be through another kind of magic, something we call a miracle. A magic we call a miracle. Something that anyone can achieve as long as they're alive. A little spell born from the power of bonds that's used to craft a happy future. The way he described it was a little abstract, yet something about it took hold of my heart. You make a good point. Our time's built on miracles, so we've got to cherish it all the more. I hope the bond we share lasts forever. More little flowers sprang up around us, punctuating my wish. I looked down at them with a warm smile. May you bloom into beautiful flowers. Vilio squeezed my hand, and I squeezed his. We lay there, just him and I, in this meadow dappled with blossoms beneath the starry sky. The night was so quiet, it felt like we were the only two people in the world. Speezy, my beloved husband gently called my name and kissed me out of nowhere. I rolled into him, enjoying his heat and the aroma of flowers as the stars watched over us. Again, Vilio and I exchanged one kiss after another until we were both satisfied. Oh, and he's tied down, so I'm just saying. The intimacy of connecting and sharing each other's warmth reminded us that we were here, together. I wonder if they're going to do the show as an after story. Nope? Okay. Circus's first-gen members were set to hold a one-time reunion show in the near future, with King Calivis joining as a guest star. As soon as it was announced, the news spread all over the world in no time. Ever since then, the reunion show had become the talk of the town. People had already given it an embarrassing nickname, the Legendary Show. Legendary Show, the name for the reunion show of Circus's generation, a very special show to create a new core item. And where Calivis, now a king, makes his appearance. We didn't need that. We all put others in charge of our regular duties so we could focus on hammering out any challenges during rehearsals. We need to practice since we've not taken the stage in some time. So Ion said as we threw ourselves headfirst into rehearsing. Look at our tent behind us. There, all done. How's my water art? It seemed like ages now, but Vilio and I had only quit the second-gen circus a few days ago. In our view, everyone slipped seamlessly back into their roles. We were so in sync that it didn't even feel like we'd been apart. As the saying went, time flies when you're having fun. And indeed, the days I spent with Circus whizzed by in a flash. Before we knew it, the big day had arrived. It's just a black screen. Okay, I'm not talking for a reason. Thank you for watching! Next up is our long-awaited performance from our first generation of Circus, the legendary show you've all been waiting for. Keep your eyes fixed on the stage until the very end. And, thanks for your continued support for us new members of Circus. Great work, guys. I gave the first round of performers a high five. Vero and Luna had led the group. The current members of Circus were tagging in the old ones. Good luck, leader. Former leader. We've warmed up the audience for you. Good luck with the legendary show. When they first heard we were going to perform, they rushed back to Arthur. Furthermore, they even delivered a performance as our opening act. Their words of encouragement brought a smile to my face. Then we formed a circle. Tough act to follow, don't you think? It really is. I'm relieved to see it. But hey, we can't afford to lose to them now that they put on an amazing show. It's annoying to hear that the current circus is doing better than us. Very true. We'll have to show them what the pros are made of. We all nodded in agreement, finished getting our costumes on, and looked out at the stage. Ginny and Calivis were already there, doing the introduction. We can't put our hands all in the circle and do it's showtime because 2 of our members are outside. Ladies and gentlemen, apologies for making you wait for so long. Look at his grown-up freaking elf. He's got, fake horns. What is that? Did he have those when he was, I don't think he did, but I actually think this looks exact. Is this the same as Baby Caliva's outfit? But, I don't think he had the, fake horn things going on. The smoke horns. I wonder if anyone here has forgotten us. Of course not, right? We, the legendary first generation of Circus, have returned to deliver dreams and dazzlement to you all. Oh, I can feel the audience's excitement reaching its climax. I spotted some familiar faces among those applauding hardest. There was Celeste, His Highness Vigonia, and Spiria, as well as my mom and dad. Leon was there, too. A number of people we'd met here and there had come to watch us perform. I turned back to the others, my heart thrumming. One more time. You sure you guys are ready for this? What? Are you going to change your mind if we say we don't want to go on stage? Are we going to tell everyone about the bonds we forged? Well, I'm feeling a teensy bit shy, but there's no point in hiding it. I'm ready. All we need to do is regale them with the story of how we got to be where we are today. All right, it's almost time. Are you with me? This was it. This was the moment. And the name of our performance for today is... We ran in from backstage and yelled the name of our show along with Ginia. Sorry. If you were paying attention, you saw this. If you were not looking, you didn't see it, but you can look now and just... They did... Roll credits, everybody. We're done. Radiant Tail! They put the Radiant Tail fanfare fucking thing up. Is that the end of it? Yeah, okay. Oh, the protagonist of this tale is... Oh no, okay, we're not... Not a labyrinth sentinel who was desperate for revenge after being chased from his home once his parents were murdered. Nor a fragile magician who suffered from a deadly disease since childhood. Nor a gladiator slave whose curse forced him to kill. Nor a man-made creature who wandered the world for centuries in a body that was neither human nor fey. Not not even a dragon with a mission to fight the darkness and save the entire world. Our hero is just an ordinary girl who works as a waitress at an ordinary tavern. I'm assuming Ginia was the one narrating this, but yes, this radiant tale belongs to none other than her. Aw, look at the little chibi! One day, this ordinary girl encountered a troupe called Circus and embarked on a journey around the world. Unless Calivis was the one reading it. I don't know. I was just reading it and then I was like, that's probably Ginia telling the story because he used to be the one that narrated. What awaited her was a life that was anything but ordinary. It was a journey full of ups and downs. In the Scholar City, Kalita, she got herself into trouble with researchers who didn't care one bit about the people around them. I love the fact that we are now adding little chibis to our chibi, and the little chibi lady's so cute. Merlita and I walked on stage, bowed to the audience, and started dancing. We ran around and sometimes fell, the kind of slapstick act we do for the kids. Applause erupted from the audience when we jumped in sync. Aww! In the labyrinth city Cultura, she got lost in the labyrinth. The next person to join me on stage was Zephora, but there was a twist. He walked out in a comical manner, and the moment he realized I was looking for him, he slipped past my blind spot and hid. If I looked right, he'd go left. If I looked left, he'd go right. That sounds like something Zephora would absolutely do. Just when I thought I'd cornered him, he used his wind magic to disappear into the crowd. A misunderstanding between humans and spirits caused an incident in the city on water, Orions. Pashalia was up next. He needed water from a bucket as though it were clay. His skills were as amazing as ever. Not stopping there, he unleashed a fair amount of water and created a pond on the stage. I fell into the pond and got myself wet, earning laughter and claps from our spectators. Watching the fierce arena battles in the Dual City Ferris made her tremble. Ion appeared, carrying a huge spear. He bowed to the audience. I stood in front of him as apples were placed on both my hands and on top of my head. Ion pierced through them one by one, never so much as grazing my skin. My throat was so dry the moment it ended, I fell to my knees. I then ran around the stage, sharing laughs and anger with the others. We shuffled around a bit, gazing at the smiles on the audience's faces. It was truly a thrilling journey from one end of the world to the other. And what awaited us at the end of our journey was the greatest crisis ever, one that could have plunged the whole world into darkness. The lights danced, drawing everyone's attention to the top of the tent. Everyone chased the rampaging dragon, but to no avail. Vilya swooped right past us, almost taunting us. Zephora and Pashalia used their magic to try to capture him. Meanwhile, Ion and Relita joined forces and reached out to the dragon boy. We failed to catch him. Instead, he flew past the audience's heads, kicking up gusts in his wake. It's a big-ass fucking tent to have a dragon flying in there. However... Oh, forget a CG. We wouldn't let it end that way. Oh. Look at how beautiful he looks in this. Right when I yelled, Vilio landed on stage in his human form and looked up. The choice we'd made as a group was the most vital part of our journey. There was no way we were going to let our friend, who was facing the darkness all alone, become a tragic hero. Oh, we headed toward a brighter future together. I extended my hand toward Vilio from the trapeze made of wind magic. During our last performance in our theater, there was a scene where Vilio was driven away to the darkness alone. But our firmly clasped hands banished that scene to the realm of the past. And thus her story concluded with a happy ending, and no one was left behind. But there's more. At the end of that rocky journey, she finally realized her true feelings. I'm so lonely. Right. In the beginning, all I thought about was how much I wanted to go home, how much I missed my normal, ordinary days. But before I knew it, I came to love Circus. The bonds I formed with everyone had become so dear to me. I slowly walked toward the center stage with a bouquet of flowers in hand. Time flies when you're having fun, and it's gone before you know it. Just like these flowers. The flowers lost their color, withered, and fell to the floor. No matter how beautiful a flower is, it's only a matter of time till the flower wilts. I cast my eyes down, letting the melancholy wash over me. The audience watched with bated breath. However, the bonds we forged won't go away. Speaking in a dignified voice, Vilio strode toward me. Wow. Fun times whiz by in an instant, and one day your memories will fade. But even if they do, those memories and the bonds we formed that day will still remain. Encouraged by the redhead, I glanced at my hands, and then extended that hand toward the audience, revealing what lay in my palm. The flowers might wilt, but they leave behind their seeds, the seeds of our bonds. Our memories sleep quietly within those seeds. I took a slow, deep breath, until one day the flowers bloom again. Freeing my heart from its fetters, I unleashed the magic within me. If what Vilio said was right, my magic was an extension of my heart. May my feelings reach everyone. The seeds in my hand exploded into bright, beautiful flowers, creating a grand rainbow throughout the venue. It felt like the seeds blossomed to soothe my wistfulness. No matter how much time passed, our bonds would bloom again when the season came. The whirling petals and blossoms floated up high and filled my vision. Calivis stepped forward to switch places with us. He stepped in the center with the roquette crown in hand. Isn't that our national treasure, the roquette crown? There's a crack in it, though. That was not Leon's voice, but whatever. Calivis let the crowd buzz for a bit before he began his speech. As you can see, this is Arthur's core item, the roquette crown. It ran out of power after saving my friends. It has fulfilled its duty. The news caused quite a commotion, which was to be expected. King Arthur had created this national treasure by combining the power of the four great spirits. It was the symbol of our royal capital. Before the shock of losing such an artifact could fully set in, therefore I shall create a new core item. The audience gaped at one another upon hearing the king's declaration. The new core item will be different from the one the genius King Arthur created. I believe the core item we create together will be suitable for the future. So please, lend me your power, the power of your bonds. The rest of us approached Calivis. We surrounded the king while holding the Great Spirit's core items, then shared a nod. How are we supposed to lend our power? I don't think we need to do anything special. It's just what the kids on stage are doing. Do what you normally do. Picture the faces of the people you love in your head. Although we're not related by blood, the bonds I have with everyone at the orphanage will never disappear no matter where I am. My dear family will always be connected to me even if I'm traveling around the world. Some were closing their eyes while others were holding their family's hands. Though each was different, everyone had their own bonds. Ready, guys? Get ready to share your bonds. We all have bonds. We can do this. We can make this core item. The bonds of being space muffins, okay? Let's not get too cheesy here. Now, let us begin. For the future, where everyone is connected by their bonds. And I'm sitting here, my bird just snuggled in my hand. See, they'll hold you. We got bonds. Yeah. The power of your love. Your sweet, precious Burby love. Oh, I love you so much, too. We were creating an item for the new era. And Calivis wasn't making it alone. No, we get to see everybody. Oh. The circus members on stage and the crowd beyond were also taking part. The four core items started to shine, and then the stage was enveloped in a bright light. This really is like a very grand finale. Like, it does make sense to have done this one last. But, I mean, it made sense to kind of do it, like, in the order we played. But definitely this one last. Ooh, a new CG. The warm light took root in my chest. I'd rather have a story where everyone joins forces to save the world than one person doing all the work. Many people came and went in my life, But it's thanks to my long life that I was able to meet you guys. Every, Even once I'm gone, the things I leave behind will remain in the future. It's proof that I'll never disappear completely. I am able to be here right now not because I survived the incident, but because I wish to live. All those silly moments we had chatting and sharing a laugh are important. We can't let anyone underestimate our bonds. Their voices sounded off in my mind. People could become stronger by joining hands with one another. We could harbor strong feelings towards someone other than ourselves. I believed that strength was enough to support the world. No matter what changes in the future, what we do will stay the same. Before we try to make someone smile, we need to be happy ourselves, right? I willed the flowers of happiness to bloom around the world. And one day, my tiny wish to have you smiling by my side was bound to come true. It was okay to have worries. It was okay to be in pain. Even when you felt sad, as long as you joined hands with your friends, you could take a step forward. We might have met by chance, but we made it here because we wished for it. The magic of miracles born from our bonds may be invisible, but it absolutely exists. Should it have a form, though? It must be strong, gentle, and bright like you, Spacey. I don't want to be a core item. It's going to be a flower. It turns into a flower. Instead of a piercing sword that could cut through the darkness, what came into being was a pure white glittering flower. It's like we had a crown, and it's like, now we get this teeny tiny little precious flower. It's adorable. It's tiny and small and adorable. Because it represents the chloris and the flora flowers. You know what I mean? There we go. That was it. It does feel very grand finale-y. So yeah. Makes sense to do that one last. Our legendary show ended with thunderous applause. 2 weeks had passed since then. We parted ways with our friends, promising to meet again with big smiles. We then headed to Passio, the Isle of Dragons, and Vilio's birthplace to get the clan chief up to speed. I see. So a new core item was created to replace the Roquette crown. Yes, I wish you could have seen it too. It was amazing. It sparkled like crazy from all the audience's feelings. I think the power within that new core item makes it as great as the Roquette crown. No, it's even better. You have united the power of many people to create this new item, which surpasses the one made by the genius Arthur. How remarkable! Times sure have changed. The clan chief calmly listened to our report, looking deeply impressed. I guess the Dragon Clan can't afford to stay quiet forever. We need to make our move, too. Oh my god, are you going to war? It ends with like a battle cry. Down with humans! That's not where you think it's going to go. Vilio once told me the chief was terrifying when he got angry. Yet he was so composed during our chat. You keep doing that, but it's just a shadow on the ceiling, bird. He was a very kind person who treated me, the dragon's bride, like family. It remains to be seen whether you've made the right decision. All I can say is that I'm delighted we had the opportunity to speak with one another. You have a bright future ahead of you, Vilio. This was the man who raised Vilio to be the archdragon, the world's sacrificial warrior. Thank you. Though the clan chief had raised Vilio to die for his mission, one thing was clear. As much as any parent, he loved Vilio and wanted him to be happy. After meeting with the chief, we took a break and returned to Vilio's house. Wow. I just can't get over this, honestly. I gazed at the white flower adorning my chest and let out a troubled sigh. You mean the core item? I'm the core item? Or I'm keeping it? Why am I keeping it? Yeah, who would have thought the bracelet you gave me would become the new core item? Oh my god, that's so adorable. Clevis had named the new core item we made the Radiant Blossom, of course. Radiant Blossom, a new core item in the royal capital created by Clevis to replace the Roquette crown, made with the power generated from Vilio's handmade bracelet, a faintly shining brooch of white flowers. Oh, okay, the bracelet turned into a brooch. Okay, that makes more sense. That very artifact was shining on my chest at the moment. Why did he let us keep it? I know, right? Threw me for a loop, too. Unless it's because we're going to be traveling around so we can gather the... As opposed to, like, keeping it, like, in the castle. You can't gather people's joy. And if we go back to circus. That's what Vilio and I were doing before my magic went out of control. We're going to be going around seeing people smile, and we'll be able to keep that item filled. So that makes sense, actually, in trusting us with it. If I knew it'd turn out like this, I would have changed the angle or fixed the rough parts a little more. I think it's cute, though. He puffed out his cheeks, and I couldn't help but laugh. It was just adorable. Well, appearances aside, it's a useful item. Your magic should be stable as long as you have this. Oh, that's helped us, too. Yeah, I'm still not sure if I should be the one to hold on to it, though. It has me so nervous. What are you nervous for? We made that choice together. It happened about a week ago. 1 week after the show, we all gathered in the throne room. Let me inform you once again about the new core item, the Radiant Blossom. Thanks to the research, we can confirm its magic is stable. We also received word that its abilities have surpassed that of the other core items. That's great to hear. What a happy ending! And this calls for a celebration. And now, moving on to the important part. I'm thinking of entrusting this core item to Spacey. To who? That was all in caps, so they're all dumbfounded. Look at them. They're all shocked. Look at all of you except for Vilio have a core item, so stop it. All the other circus members were equally shocked by this decision. Rude. Calypus and Ginia were the only ones unfazed. That's funny. For a second I thought you said you were asking me to keep the core item. Oh, unusual for you to escape reality. I also find it hard to believe, you know. How rude. I'm completely serious. I want you to keep it, Spacey. This is the king's request. What say you? Whoa, wait a minute. This is the royal capital's core item we're talking about. Are you sure you want me to keep something so important? Yep. You know this item stores mana through bonds between people, right? Hence, it's better to take it around the world and encounter all sorts of people, rather than lock it away in the treasury. I get it now. That does make sense. If I remember correctly, Spacey and Vilio did say they were going to travel the world after this. We've thought about returning to circus, but our roles there have ended. Oh, okay, never mind. I want to fulfill my dream of traveling the world without any restrictions. Okay, well, still, we're going to travel around, so. Please do make your dream come true. I support you. Yes, that is our plan, but surely that doesn't mean I'm automatically in charge of this, right? But Spacey wasn't the Radiant Blossom your bracelet to begin with. Well, that being the case, that's pretty obvious that we'd make you hold on to it. Not at all! This is a national Actually, I agree with him. Shutting down my argument was the one person I believed would always take my side. After all, this thing suits Spacey more than anything in the world. Say what? The hell? So you just want to gush about her? Stop being so biased. I don't see anything wrong with that, though. If anything, I agree it suits her. True. If Vilio is biased, that means we must put forth someone else to wear the flower instead of her. Perhaps you should keep it. We shall call you Zaflora, the flower. Zaflora! I knew what it said as I read it, but I couldn't stop myself from laughing. Zaflora, the flower boy. He changed his name to Zaflora. Oh my god. All right, I guess we're giving it to you, Spacey. Make sure to keep it safe, always. What? I looked at all of them in turn, silently begging for help. Ginia simply giggled at me. I mean, why not? You should just keep it. Besides, the others already have their own core items to attend to. And that way we'll have a reason to meet again, you know, like when we need the items. When he put it that way, I had no reason to refuse. I wanted as many reasons as possible to see them again. And so it had come to this. I had officially become the keeper of the Radiant Blossom. You might feel weird now, but I'm sure you'll get used to it real soon. Besides, it's not like it'll break easily or anything. Yeah, but I could lose it. I know, but that's not the problem here. My heart's not ready. I couldn't toss out excuses forever. Collecting myself, I placed a hand over the item. I've been entrusted with this role, so I've got to see it through to the very end. I'll have to meet a lot more people and bond with them. Meeting more people, huh? Just thinking about it makes my heart race. I nodded at Vilio, who seemed optimistic about my plan. This is both proof of my bond with everyone and a charm that'll bring them back to me. I caressed the shining flower. The shape certainly had changed, yet the gentle warmth emanating from it was the same as the bracelet Vilio gave me. So pretty. I know, right? I'm sure this flower will shine in full bloom forever and ever. Even if it does change one day, the time I spent with all of you won't just disappear. I'm sure I'll meet new people from now on, but I know you'll always be there for me. And that's why I'm so excited to see what the future has in store for us. Say, Vilio? Yeah? Thank you for choosing me. I thought you were going to say something else, and hey, that's my line. I'm so lucky I met you. Thank you for taking my hand. I love you more than anything else in the world. Are we going to get an adorable CG right about now? Because it's fading to white. Oh, yeah. Look at our little hands. It's going to be a kissy CG, you know it. Hell yeah, it is. Aww. Precious. His lips brushed mine and our hands intertwined. His hot, passionate kiss burned me up in both body and soul. I love you more than anything in the world, too, Vilio. I conveyed that feeling through our linked hands and our interlocked lips. No sooner than our lips parted did he kiss me again, gently and deeply. I had to wonder if he knew what I was thinking. Our story would continue into the future. I had no idea what trials and tribulations lay ahead, but I knew I could overcome anything with Vilio and my dear friends by my side. We could tackle anything as long as we were together. Our story would not have a sorrowful ending. Everyone would smile and live happily ever after. Our goal was to create a radiant tale, and that would never change. That was one of those endings. That was like, they were like, okay, pick a line that you think should sum up the game. And 5 different people pick a line, and they just put all of them in there. It was only 5, but it was, as I was reading it, I'm like, this is one of those this is literally like 5 different people put this is the best closing line, and they couldn't decide, so they just slapped them all fucking together. There's an epilogue? No, we're not going to start it. We'll do it afterward. We have to go. We'll do it like in another part, because I don't know if it's for the game itself, but also we want to get our other CG variation. So let's get our CG variation. And we say, what a novel design. With its unshapely flowers, the bracelet was a bit poorly made for merchandise. Is this handmade? What a novel design. Yeah, he's like, oh, figures. I did as best as I could, but it didn't turn out so great. Vilio rubbed the back of his neck, a sheepish smile on his face. You see, I had Bashalia teach me how to craft this yesterday. Making a handcrafted item isn't as easy as it looks, and that's okay, so that's all it was. All right, there you go. So you got that. Now let's go back to our title. There we go. We'll look at our things. So, like, I'm sure we can find the extra gallery 24242 242421. Okay. This is a 2. I think this one's precious. Look at his little sweet face. His face, he's so adorable. Yeah, because that's true. The other version is like the vines creeping up. It's really cute. And he's like, this is awkward. This one's sweet. And he's all happy because we liked his bracelet. Aww. And this is where he's like, I suck at this. We're so mean to him. Oh, we're mean to him. Yeah. We'll have to do, I guess the epilogue will be a next part. I don't want to, because, we're already at an hour, so it's good enough. I don't know, it could be 5 minutes. Who knows? We'll find out. But, you know. This one's cute, staring up at the stars. And then all of our little flowers, they didn't really change her face. She kind of has the same, like, shocked Pikachu face, kind of. Like, at least they changed his expression a little bit in this one. Well, there you go. Now she's happy. There you go. Because, like, before she was like, ooh. She just looked a little too shocked. It was like, change up the expression. Because, like, because he's, like, so adorable in this. And this one's precious too. I honestly thought when we saw this one, it was going to like zoom out or give you something else instead of just showing just her hand in the corner. I was fully expecting it to be like this was just the zoomed in version, but it's not. Like that was it. And then our lovely little kiss. How precious. His CGs are good, but I don't feel like he's got like one that's just like, I mean, this one putting in the bracelet on is actually kind of like, this one is actually kind of the most adorable. I actually like this one the most. This one's really good too. Like this one's cute, but he looks cuter in some of the other ones. I like the flowers in this one and the lighting. It's pretty. This one's kind of cute. This one's beautiful. But it's like he's so just in the tiny corner. You're going to have to like, there you go. We could do this. Perfect. There you go. Because like the light's shining in. It's beautiful. But anyway, we will do all of the other stuff. We'll do the epilogue. Because I don't know if that's like wrapping up the game itself or like, you know, whatever. But we'll do that along with the interludes. Those are like mini episodes taking place behind the scenes during the original game, providing new perspectives, fun, and insight into the fantastic world of Circus. Oh, so that's cool. So it's better that we didn't do those and try to do them after each character route. I figured that would be too complicated. Trying to be like, okay, let's go and just find all the Ion ones and do that, like, whatever. And it makes more sense that, you know. But, yeah. So we'll do the epilogue and we'll see how long that takes or what it is. If it feels like it's very much, uh, just, well, I was thinking if it's just Vilio heavy, you know, maybe we'll just do it on its own, and then the interlude we'll just do a bunch of little stories at a time just to fill up the time. We'll see what happens. So anyway, I don't know. We will continue next time with whatever. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.